Previously on Follow the Leader.
Today we're playing You Can Check Out Anytime You Like, but You Can Never Leave by Marn S. For those of you who are new to this game, here are the basics. You Can Check Out Anytime You Like is a hack of Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands about the world's only hotel removed from time and space. Create messy entanglements and to inject surreal horror into the everyday. Fight with friends, kiss your doppelganger, ally with someone shady.
I will be playing Dave, pronouns he, him. His three traits are exhausted, thoughtful, and I have written empathetic as the third one, crossed it out, and written judgmental instead.
I will be playing Marnie Sands, pronouns she, her. Her traits are inquisitive, gentle, and naive.
In my case, much like how August has Marnie, I have picked back up on Thorn, Hecastocles. They, it pronouns for this one. The traits that I've selected for Thorn here are detached, lonely, and feral.
And I am technically playing Staff. My character name is Birdie, uses she, they pronouns. Traits are kind, loyal, and distorted.
And the figure will start to turn away as if it were regarding the far wall, going, missed them, and no one deserves this. That is what you say, Captain. And I think that last word, that last captain, is... There's normally a tone that Thorn had in the past with it, where it was more of a perfunctory title, almost something stated as a distance. But how it's said here, there's a shift in that, and it's more unsure. As if someone is saying that word for the first time, in a long time or ever.
Marnie, shakes her head and takes a step back and says, I'm not your captain. Marlin's the captain.
It starts to slowly turn around again. Engineer?
Who are you?
Glory. And that's the only name it will give. But who were you?
I think Marnie's backing up a little bit more as she says, I'm Marnie, and I'm the computer systems expert. At least I was, and hopefully one day when I catch back up with them, I will be again.
Okay. I think in that moment, I reach to wrap my fingers around your wrist. May I?
Ooh, that's a good question. If it's all right with you, Cory, I'm going to say you may, but at this moment we're interrupted.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You want to interrupt, or should I shrug?
I have been looking at whether I want to do Fight It Out with Thorn.
Ooh. Yes!
Beauty.
We now return to your game already in progress.
By all means.
Live your truth, Shrog. I will not stop you. I will, in fact, enable you.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it's your game next anyway. Because if it depends if you want to have this happen right off, this fight to happen right now, or you know.
I think this is Dave interrupting and not really knowing what he's getting in the middle of.
Sounds good.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
You sense a vibe from afar.
No, I think he was being a little more watchful during the party than one might expect. And kind of clocked the vacancy in the quote-unquote host.
Nice.
And has been trying to find where you've gone off to.
Very good. I think in that sort of moment before interruption, then Marnie can feel that same heat and that same, or rather now with skin-to-skin contact, a very distinct dryness. A skin almost like sandpaper.
Marnie, starts both at the contact and at Dave's interruption and kind of jumps back. And then when she's a kind of a safe distance away, she starts rubbing at her wrist almost like she's been burned, kind of staring at the figure, just gears turning.
Well, is it time to meet fist to fist?
I think it is.
Nice.
Read us the setup, Shrug.
So, fight it out, or meeting fist to fist. Setup. Only you and your chosen partner play. Decide how the two of you came to be alone and fighting it out. Yeah, I have tracked you from the party and have just come with whatever quote-unquote armaments I grabbed along the way. What do you notice about each other? What do you want from this fight? How badly are you willing to hurt each other? During the game, anyone may ask for details of the setting or circumstances. So what do I notice about you that is... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So given that it specifies that the two of you came to be alone, I just like the visual of maybe the ballroom doors closing or something and gently pulling Marnie back in. Just so, rather than a hole opening and dropping you on another floor or whatever. Just the visual of how Marnie comes to not be directly next to this fight happening, you know?
No one's looking, right? And suddenly Marnie comes to understand that she's behind a door frame and that door is closing.
Dig it.
I mean, the author can be asleep if Marty wants to witness this.
No, I do think it's more interesting if the two of you are alone.
Okay.
And I like the idea of maybe Marnie blinks, and as she blinks, she observes the two of them, and then when she opens her eyes, she's been dragged back into the ballroom and the door is shutting in her face.
Okay. Yeah, I think for what's noticeable also, as you approach, well, I guess that's the question I should ask first. What sort of stance are you taking to start with? Are you already kind of dukes up, or is this more...
It is shockingly aggressive for Dave.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think that corsage that's on the host here, it quickly blooms forth and tendrils, vine tendrils, start to stick out and affix themselves to the wrists and ankles, almost forming a sort of bioexoskeleton. It's the form, while having been puppeted around by pheromones at first, now is being quite literally pulled around and reinforced. And I think over the sort of top of that host's head, this flower bush will start to quickly bloom and take up the sort of top half of their face and head.
All right. So I will go ahead and answer what do you want from this fight in dialogue. Get out. This is a bridge too far. Scurry around the vents all you want. But you do not take over the guests.
And there's sort of a jerking of motion as Thorn gets used to this new extension, and the voice states more clearly than it had been with Marnie. Invitation was extended to more than just the guests and the staff. I answered the call in the way I knew how.
And as for how badly are you willing to hurt each other? I mean, Dave is willing to do a lot to Thorn, the plant. There is going to be holding back for the presumably guest underneath. Maybe even a hesitation of, I'm pretty sure there is more of this still in the vents, but it is not my intention to destroy the entirety of Thorn.
Yeah, I think on the converse, Thorn is actually quite restrained in this moment. It is not demonstrating the same level of aggression that Dave is, but it's that same sort of passivity that any plant with thorns has. It's not going to necessarily reach out and lash, but it certainly isn't going to just be tugged around.
Okay.
Time to figure out how this fight gets conducted, no?
Yeah. So, conducting the fight, the person with the most advantage or influence on the other begins. If you can't decide who that is, toss a coin. Now, Dave has the initiative.
Yep.
But it is arguable whether he has an advantage.
I think so, yeah. We've established, at least in terms of background, that Thorn is more withdrawn against Dave than Birdie in this case. And
that's fair.
I think in this case, that same thing is happening. There's a sort of testiness and hesitance, even as Thorn takes that stance up to go toe-to-toe.
All right. So I will begin. We will take turns asking leading questions back and forth. At any time after the third question, either of you may choose to ask a closing question instead. I'm between two here to start us off.
Always a fun spot.
I think I'll go hard. I attack and you barely dodge it. A fraction slower and I might have ended the fight for good. Does that exhilarate or chill you?
Ah, good. I already had a response prepared for that one too, so same wavelength.
Good.
I love this. I think it's that same thing where, like, the host sways out of the way, and it's like a jerk, where at first it is the plant goes and the limbs follow kind of situation, while Thorn is still adjusting to this direct control. I think in response, as Dave gets close, whether by swinging or just by like sending a shoulder in, it's almost like a fever response. Where someone has chills and their body heats up more, there is already that passive heat in the room from earlier when Thorn was interacting with Marnie, and now I think that is in full oppressive like blast, where it's a dry wind that is coming forward now, and with that dry wind, it's almost like facing an oven.
For what it's worth, I think Dave is actually coming at you with, like, a pair of office scissors.
Good. Yeah.
Actually just, like, trying to snip the corsage off.
Yeah. And I think, to be clear, this is definitely more towards the chilling side for Thorn.
Yeah. For sure.
I think on Thorn's end of things... What is it? Yeah, it's still clumsy. It's still feeling this out. I throw all of my weight into a powerful blow. Do you give ground readily or begrudgingly? And I think what this looks like is, normally someone would sort of test the waters first, right? If they were trying to get into a fight of some kind. They wouldn't immediately throw like a haymaker and throw themselves off guard unless they were really panicked. And I think this is just that. It's panic on Thorn's part. It is a full arm, fist, throw, like body weight, lean in kind of charge.
Yeah, I think it catches Dave off guard enough that he does give ground readily. It's just like, oh fuck, this knows what it's doing enough to get in a strong hit.
Yeah. I think as you feel the fist brush past, if Dave comes in contact with the vines, he'll feel almost that leeching effect. And that same arm that goes by. Earlier, when it was just the pheromones, the host was fine, but now their skin is starting to get sallow.
I grapple you into a hold. Do you submit or twist and bite me to escape from my grasp?
I think it is twisting and biting, but rather than with, obviously with teeth, it is more the vines themselves. The thorns and spikes start to protrude from them as Dave tries to get a handle on Thorn. Almost hedgehog-like, honestly. And I think this is enough to say, you knock me to the ground with a powerful blow. Do you allow me to recover, or am I forced to submit?
I think I want to force Thorn to submit here. Like, I shove you hard with a force that seems more than human in a strange way. Unclear what happened because there's nothing visible about it. But yeah, I have the jaws of the scissors nearly shut around the corsage part. I'm just... Dave growls at Thorn, just... You are invited to stay in the hotel. You are invited to come and go as you please or as you must. You are not invited to take the agency or life of our guests.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of... There's almost a whiplash sound as the vines suddenly retract from the host that Thorn was attached to. And it's cedes control, and the body will sort of lie slack like a puppet with the strings cut, as faced with the blades against it, almost shut around, there's just that sound of birdsong once more. Just frantic tweeting and nothing more past that.
All right.
Hey, what do
I
you
think
do with
a
that?
little postscript.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think a little postscript to this scene, if Thorn is withdrawn,
Yeah.
is Dave fills out a suggestion slip for the night manager.
Mm-hmm.
Just writes on the note, September 21st. Recommend opening additional room for unidentified guest.
I love how much use the suggestion box is getting.
Very good.
Okay, I believe that brings us back to Jade.
I'm trying to decide. It's breakfast in America.
Ooh, yes.
Anyone can play. Other players may join the scene freely if it makes sense for their characters to be there. Begin by describing your character arriving to the hotel's daily continental breakfast. Where is the breakfast set up? Who here are regular attendees? Is anyone here for the first time? Then you choose 3 to 5 foods from the menu to add to your plate. These will shape the ensuing scene and conversation. During the game, anyone may ask for details of the setting, occasion, and circumstances. As you eat breakfast, you take turns. You choose a food from your plate and read the corresponding prompt. Decide what happens, role play it out with other players. If you're out of food, you may pass or decide to leave breakfast and start your day. Game ends when everyone's plate is empty, everyone has passed in a row, or everyone has left breakfast. And I feel like maybe just so you've got the flexibility, Shrug, that you get like a little note under your door thanking you for your suggestion and recommending that you or gifting you the morning off after your party to rest and to have breakfast at your leisure. Someone else is covering the breakfast buffet. So
Yo, free morning.
I don't know. This is Dave's beat, as it were. So what? Shark, help me describe what the breakfast setup is like here. I like the idea of the regular attendees being like guests and staff alike. I like the visual of there being maybe a booth that a couple of the hotel ghosts or are known to be like, you don't want to sit there unless you want a ghost to walk through you. It's like part of their routine. So there's just the ghost booth. Don't sit in the ghost booth because they will not care and they will just sit there too. You don't want that feeling. But yeah. Well, what do you think like the room looks like here? We know it's on the ground floor.
Mhm.
So
I think it is a relatively large setup. I think there's a center console of goods, and then I think there's a long counter that goes in an L shape around a corner with like a full spread. And I think the the anomalous thing about this setup is that it contains exactly what you expect a hotel breakfast to contain, with one pleasant surprise and one unpleasant one.
uh-huh. Are you gonna specify what those are?
I think it's different for
Ah,
different guests.
beautiful.
Ah, a gift and a curse for everyone.
Mhm. I think there are some things that are like fixed points that are always present
Mm.
for every guest, but I think like everyone will perceive this spread slightly differently. And maybe if you know how to look at the ways that other guests are looking, you can, wander over to one end or the other around that bend in the wall and notice something shift slightly
Mm.
in the way that other people are looking at the counter.
So, we take turns. On a turn, describe. Yeah, there's a whole list. There's like 2 solid pages
Mhm.
of breakfast menu items, and their accompanying prompts to choose from. So, I think I already hinted at it, but I'll do this one. Eggs Benedict. There is an anomaly who seems to only be present at breakfast. Who are they, and what are they like? And I think it is a pair of ghosts. I think they have the look about them in dress. I think it's like deeply like shit, very 50s looking. Um, Guy with his hat, lady with a full skirt, gloves, hat as well, and they come down to breakfast. They are pleasant with everybody. Um, they will eat their breakfast, and about halfway through, they have an argument. One leaves, and then the other chases after them. They don't really interact with anyone, and they just do this every day. It's like a little looping phantasm. It's them. As Buddy makes there is so much hollandaise on here, like an
Mm.
upsetting level of hollandaise. It's not upsetting to her, but to other people, it might be an upsetting amount of hollandaise. Got like extra bread on the side to mop up hollandaise.
Yo, that dish is just covered.
It's like it's more like a bowl of soup at this point with like
A thick blanket.
think of it more like a poached egg sitting in a pool of hollandaise. This is a call
Why?
out for me who likes hollandaise sauce. Not to that extent, but I do like hollandaise sauce.
Oh, to be utterly unrestrained.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I have two options that I can lead off with.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll lead off with hash browns. You sit down to chat with someone you don't usually spend much time with. Who is it? How do they react? I think Marnie spots Birdie. And even though I'm sure Birdie looks a little different today, Marnie still clocks who they are
Mm-hmm.
and comes over and plops down next to her. And it's just like, hey, thanks for the dance last night.
My pleasure. You're a good dancer. And um, I think she looks to Marnie here a few years older. Maybe like closer to 30 than 20. And back to that sort of short, and the hair is cut short enough that it's curls rather than waves. You know, like when hair of certain textures gets past the length, the curl starts to drop. It's short enough that the curls are sort of like springing up, um, held back with a scarf of some kind, like as a headband, and looks tired but happy. Just like, you really are a good dancer. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Marnie blushes a little bit and is just like, yeah, I think I'd like that.
Looks back into her crime of a breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You having breakfast, Dave?
Mm, I am on a hard time deciding between these.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Well,
all
let's see
so
here.
good.
Yes, as me at the breakfast buffet.
Mhm. I'm gonna start boringly. I'm gonna do cereal. You're having a quiet morning and keep to yourself in a corner of the room. Does anyone stop by your table to chat? And I think I'm gonna leave that up to Marnie or Birdie. If it is enough of a surprise that Dave is on the other side.
Thorns don't interact.
I think I like the idea of like Birdie spotting that Dave is like sat eating
Mhm.
and will like clearly get up and go over and will like except like, oh, just like, I never see Dave eating breakfast in here. And he's just gonna like walk over with her plate of food and just sit down opposite Dave. Have you been banished?
Shit, is this what this is?
I don't know, is it?
Well, I was told I had the morning off. What if I have been banished?
It's a pretty well catered banishment. Why are you having cereal? And I think this is to Dave in this moment, I think Birdie looks about maybe 13.
Hmm.
Like much younger than I think this is possibly the youngest she's appeared to him in a while. But it sort of vibes with the playful banter that she's riffing with, being a bit silly.
I am having cereal because I am an adult. That means that I can choose to have a bowl of Fruit Loops if I so choose on a day off.
I sort of like wrinkle my nose a little bit, just like, you have awful taste in cereal, Dave. And I will reach in and steal just a singular Fruit Loop. and crunch down. And I think once I have done that, I peel open the banana that I have, fresh fruit. I'm not really a morning person, but I'm a regular at breakfast in the hotel. What keeps you coming back? And I think Buddy likes to people watch. Like, also, there is always reliable food here. I think you can go to the restaurants in the evening and eat, but there's something like comforting about like the same foods being available in the breakfast buffet. And yeah, she likes to sit and watch people while she eats. But yeah, she's like I think she like peels it on there and breaks it off a piece at a time to eat rather than like just biting off from the fruit itself. Marnie, did you get dragged over?
Well, it's not so much that I got dragged over, it's that I have an omelet,
Ah.
but I don't want to if Thorn wants to be here, I don't want to take my turn out of turn.
I'm cool with getting a breakfast together for Thorn because I've got some interesting limitations to what can Thorn actually eat.
I'm so excited.
The game, the movie. I mean, I think the first one's got to be fresh fruit. Not really a morning person, but you're a regular at breakfast in the hotel. What keeps you coming back? This is one of those cases where Thorn is able to kind of sneak in amongst the noise and the people. And like a decorative flower or two will not go noticed in the context of things. It allows them to secret away like some cantaloupe or some strawberries or something to take back and get just the stuff out of. I think in addition to that, they're biting into some scrambled eggs because that's nutrition, baby. It's pretty universal. I think this is like they've kind of intertwined with one of the lamps in the ceiling above where Birdie and Dave are, and very much still kind of licking the wounds moment, but listening closely to kind of observe and track in, while also just keeping general sentry on the room at large to understand the people here. I think
Is this Thorn's normal perch? Sorry.
Yeah, I think actually it is. Like,
okay.
They usually hang out around. This is like one of the places where it's loose enough for them to kind of wrap around without jiggling something out of place and being obvious. And then, ooh, what's one last thing?
Were we going around the table?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like getting Cory back into the mix because I technically took my
Okay.
second turn.
Oh, that's true. Fair enough.
So.
Yeah, I'll ponder on this last thing.
Yeah, I mean, is this part of the same fresh fruit question? Wait.
Yeah, I think it's that item primarily, and they're already starting to snake around the rest of the buffet to figure out things that they can eat or absorb more correctly.
All right, so that's my two. Cory's done two, so August or Shrug. Have your second.
August had one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I have an omelet. You seize the moment to confront someone or ask them about something that's been bothering you. Who are they and what do you ask? So I guess I get dragged over, but when I see that it's Dave, I just kind of blurt out, "What happened last night?"
Something happened last night.
That the plant was encroaching on a guest. That's a line that I can't let it cross.
So what did you do? Looking between Marnie and Dave, like, what did I miss?
So I made it leave. Do you?
Birdie bites back a plant pun. Because now is not the time.
Do you think that was wrong?
Made it leave how? Or just leave the guest?
Gestures up. Left the guest.
Oh. I assume you're gesturing at Thorn then. So you
Mhm.
know it's here. I think I sort of recognize. I think I look and go, huh. Are you always up there?
I think as you look up, there's a couple of buds that kind of retreat behind the light shade.
Huh.
So, if you don't mind, I'm going to use this opportunity to play my third food, which is toast.
Mm-hmm.
Someone from your past walks into the room unexpectedly. Do they recognize you? Do you acknowledge them? And I think this is the moment where Marnie fully understands that this is Thorn of some sort. And she, like, was eating toast, noticed that everybody was looking up, looks up, drops the toast, goes pale.
Are you okay?
Do you know this thing?
Yeah. Uh, it used to be part of the crew, the salvage crew that I was a part of, am a part of. And the last time I saw it, it was chasing us, and it almost didn't end well for anybody. But I don't understand how it got here.
All right.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
take nothing. Sorry.
go on, do it.
No, you had a line.
Do
Do
the
it.
thing. Do it.
I was gonna go to another piece of food.
Are you going to respond to what Marnie just said?
Tangentially, but if you have more direct response, do it first.
I think Birdie just gives you a sympathetic look. Just like, time's weird here. Or we're outside it, so our relationship to time is weird. This could be a very different person.
Marnie kind of nods, but you can tell that she's a little skeptical.
Reasonable.
So I'm going to take my second piece of food as orange juice. You're in a great mood this morning and agree to help someone out with a favor after you eat. What's the favor? And I am going to offer to Marnie. I know that a lot of the anomalies in this hotel, even staff aren't supposed to try to understand beyond how they threaten the hotel itself. But this seems like an exceptional case. An anomaly that may or may not be itself a lost guest. I happen to find myself with some free time this morning. And I'd like to help you understand who this is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I think I have the last chaotic thing to throw in here.
Uh-huh.
I think it's waffles.
Yeah, it sure is, isn't it?
The hotel unexpectedly moves everyone at breakfast to a different location. Where do you end up, and why do you think the hotel wants you to be here? I think it's sort of that situation where, like, shot match shot, right? At first it's that sort of, like, angle across the dinner table, and now instead of it, or the breakfast table, like, that is like more of a booth, or is it more of like a round table kind of setup, you think?
Mm,
I don't think this is a booth.
Okay.
But maybe
I
like
think it's round tables, yeah.
All right. I rub my chin. let's go with round table. It's a little more malleable. And I think instead of it just being, that same surrounds, the smell of buffet food and the jabbering of general people existing and otherwise, it suddenly is like a dingy card table and folding chairs that you all are sitting at, as you're now sitting nearby the boiler room.
Oh boy.
Like just outside, not inside of it, but the doors, they're imposing. It's like a little dim, but there's clear signage indicating where this is.
That works nicely. Because I was gonna finish off and go with coffee. You're punchy this morning and ruder than you ought to be. Whose toes do you step on and how do they react? I think this interaction between Dave and Marnie is rubbing Birdie up the wrong way in a way that she does not have the emotional maturity necessary or the experience to realize, why is this pissing me off? And now we're right by the boiler room, a place she does not like. It freaks her out. She's not sure why it does. It's probably something that happened as a kid. So I think she sort of like pushes herself away from the table, grabs the coffee mug, and it splashes some of its contents over her hand. And she's just like, well, I'll leave you guys to it then, I suppose, and just storms off.
So we're drawing close on time. I would like to make a suggestion.
Yeah. I hope it's the same one I was going to go for.
Do we want to end on, is there something I should know?
That was going to be my suggestion.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Set up. Set the scene with your chosen partner. Decide which part of the hotel you're in and what incident, anomaly, or other mystery you're investigating. Other players may join freely if it makes sense for their characters to be there. What stakes do you have in the case? What lengths will you go to in order to find answers? What are you hiding from each other? During the game, anyone may ask for details of the setting, occasion, and circumstances. Conducting the investigation. Take turns clockwise around the table. On your turn, pose an investigative question to the person to your right and flip a coin. On heads, their answer should be beneficial, informative, or something you are hoping for. On tails, their answer should be vague, unhelpful, or something you were hoping against. So, I think Marnie and Dave are trying to figure out what the heck is up with Thorn and why we're at the boiler room. What stakes do you have in the case? I think we've both been pretty clear about why we're interested in this. Dave because protecting guests, Marnie because person from her past, potentially. What lengths will we go to in order to find answers?
I think Dave is unwilling to hurt anyone or cause damage to the hotel, basically.
Yeah, I think Marnie doesn't care about damage to the hotel, but isn't really wanting to hurt anybody or get anybody hurt. So we're mostly on the same page. And what are we hiding from each other? I think Marnie's trying to hide how scared she is. I don't know if she's doing a great job, but she's trying. Because, she's thinking back on the previous night and how close Thorn had gotten to her. And just, this is a lot.
I think Dave is trying to hide how lost he is.
Oh, buddy.
In terms of, not having any answers.
Oh, boy. So we take turns clockwise around the table. I guess we'll just do going down in the dock.
Mm-hmm.
So when I ask a question, it looks like Cory will answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my question is going to be, I noticed something new or out of place in the hotel that seems to have something to do with the case and decide to investigate. Is the diversion fruitful? And I think the main thing I'm doing is like, we're next to the boiler room. I'm investigating the boiler room door to see if I can find any clues to why we might be here. And I need to throw a coin. Hey, heads.
So, approaching the door of the boiler room, it is open. And the thing is, there's heat that comes out from it. That's to be expected. But along with that, there is humidity that shouldn't be there. There is that same scent of grass and nature and earth. All things that do not belong in the context of a boiler room. And with the door open, that smell only becomes more obvious. That there's something in there.
I relay this to Dave in a kind of shaking voice and kind of looking to him for guidance on how we wish to proceed.
I snoop around the main scene of the case, hoping to find an overlooked piece of evidence or any evidence at all. What do I find? I believe I am asking this of August.
I think so. This feels a little weird just because it seems like everybody's supposed to be asking questions, but there's only the two of us in the investigation.
Right.
Why don't you ask it of Jade?
That makes sense.
I'm being asked. Very sorry.
That is also heads. Yeah. I snoop around the main scene of the case, hoping to find an overlooked piece of evidence or any evidence at all. What do I find?
Okay. I think you find maybe the original cutting or the original piece, and caught up with it is maybe a tiny shard of metal or a scrap of clothing that Marnie would recognize. Something that makes it clear where this cutting came from, you know? Or where this piece came from. If that makes sense.
Yeah, is it from Thorn's original biosuit?
Maybe it is a piece from the original biosuit, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but I'm going
Yeah,
to.
but a fabric distinctly, and it makes sense why Thorn of the Hotel Thorn would keep hold of it because of the familiarity, even if it wasn't at a stage of that kind of emotional resonance with it, you know, if that makes sense to you, Cory.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Cool. Yeah. Marnie would see that and be like, it is them. They made it here somehow.
Is that good or bad for the hotel?
They didn't seem to recognize me. I don't know how much they remember, but it's them, and I don't know. Let's keep looking here. And I walk the halls of the hotel hoping to find a secret room or route that will make certain odd details of the case make sense. Do I stumble onto anything new? And in this case, it's more exploration of the boiler room, trying to find any secret doors or anything like that.
I've got an answer for you if you roll good.
I do not roll well.
I've got an
Okay,
answer
but
for you if you roll bad.
Okay. I was gonna say, what is the option for roll bad? Is it just information?
Vague information, something that I don't wish were happening, that kind of thing.
Go on, Cory. If you've got something good, go for it.
So it was curiosity that you were being regarded with at first. And you were very correct in that they did not recognize you, or did not have context, but that curiosity is turning to fear. And it is becoming more evident as you walk through the boiler room that there are knots and clusters of vines and sort of a general mess that is obscuring a lot of the general path.
Oh boy. I don't know how Marnie communicates that feeling to Dave, or if she even does. Maybe she's not even really willing to speak it out loud in case Thorn overhears and in doing so gets called out and becomes more emotionally volatile. So I think maybe Marnie keeps that to herself and just kind of quietly points to the knots ahead of them.
My brow furrows again. So I think I get another question and you get a third and final one, correct?
Yes, because there's 5 questions
Okay.
total.
So I have a question in mind, and you can decide if you want that one to be saved for last. Because I was gonna go with I dabble in strange and mystical forces in my search for answers. What price do I pay and what do I learn?
Ooh. Ooh. I think that's a really great last question. So do we want to
Okay.
swapsies?
Yeah, you ask another question then. Go ahead.
Ooh, okay. I sense myself being watched and see a shadowy figure spying on me while I investigate what happens when I give chase. Let me roll for that.
I have thought if it comes up, tails.
Well, it did.
Is it Birdie?
Mm.
Is that why it's
Mm.
unhelpful? Because it's just Birdie was trying to follow.
I think, yeah, I like the idea of this birdie, but it's a significantly younger birdie, like 6 years
Mm.
old. Like still recognizably her, but I think this is gonna spin you out because, like, it's one thing to understand time is fucky here, and it's another thing that the girl who's been flirting with you is now a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
I think they like have a very sort of the way that kids' faces, like they have no poker face, just like very scrunched up angry face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like you're looking in the wrong place. You shouldn't. You should have asked the right person the right questions, and you're stupid. You're both stupid. And just turn around and storm off.
Mm. Marnie doesn't know how to react.
Hey Dave, was that Birdie as a 6-year-old? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? What?
All right, Dave. Take us home.
Okay, so we have 2 heads and 2 tails,
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
which means the not only is the response to this going to be interesting in and of itself, but it is also going to determine whether our case has a satisfying answer or is still shrouded in uncertainty.
mhm.
So, I dabble in strange and mystical forces in my search for answers. What price do I pay and what do I learn? And we're just going to roll this.
Big money, no
And it's
Emmys.
going to come up heads.
That's a
Yeah.
heads.
Hell yes. That is a great relief.
I've got a suggestion for
Yeah.
what this looks like. I don't know what this looks like for Dave in this moment in terms of his actions. I think a TV, like an old cathode ray, like a full-on like poof, kind of wakes up in the corner of the room, and it is security feeds from the lobby, and it is the crew of the ship that's name I cannot remember. I'm so sorry, past us.
Hang on. I've got the doc.
We may
pulled
not
up.
have even named it. That would be on brand for us too. I remember what it looked like, kinda, but
It's not in the doc. Damn.
yeah,
Damn.
that sounds, as I said, about right for us.
So on brand.
But that's the visual, and while you can't make out the timestamp, I think you can see it, but your brain can't comprehend the time stamp on it. But Money, you see that, and I think it's enough to click for you, like, because you recognize the hotel when you got here somehow deeply, but you didn't, and then you're like, oh. And then I think there's maybe enough to see like boot prints left, like in mud, because we were wading through all sorts of shit on the space station. But I think Marnie is at least visibly younger, or wearing an outfit that Dave has never seen her in, to clock like, oh, this is pre, and then it would be able to connect to, we should check the logbooks or talk to the night manager because you've been here before. And the price that you pay.
Oh, it's the Stetson, by the way.
The Stetson, thank you. Good job, Cory. I think you feel a slight weight drop into like your pocket, like either your shirt pocket or your jacket, whatever you're wearing, because you're currently off duty. And you pull it out, or you reach into your pocket, and there is a name badge. Bay manager. You have been promoted to a position of significantly more responsibility.
Boy.
Oh, congrats, Dave.
Especially given what happened to the last day manager.
Uh-huh. The Dave manager.
Fuck off, Cory. Oh my god. But I think it was that reaching out for information, and the hotel gave it to you. But if you want the information, the responsibility comes with it, because only the managers can get access to the tapes.
Yeah. Trying to decide if I want to color the moment that leads
Please.
up to that.
Go for it. No, please
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, so I think the dabbling in strange and mystical forces. I pull out my little journal, and it is still on the first page, and I write down September 21st, boiler room, searching for origins of this plant. And something tugs at the corner of my brain, and I turn the page left. And there's another page that says September 21st, Marnie, toast with jam, turkey bacon, eggs, late riser. And I turn it left again. It says September 21st, first day on the job. Turn it left again, September 21st. Checked in.
Incredible.
And there's just this. Dave keeps shifting slightly in appearance from, like, the hotel uniform to a bedraggled, like, business attire to something that looks a little more futuristic to just a rain-soaked coat, and just keeps happening until I reach back to September 21st, checked in. I've been told to be careful, but I'm only here overnight. I'll be back in Seattle before I know it. Turn it left again. September 21st. Started shift as the day manager. And that's when a weight appears in my pocket.
Beautiful.
Beauty.
God, I fucking love the hotel. Ah.
Oh boy. Still don't know if Thorn's for the hotel or not, but that's okay. That's a mystery for another time.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
what you can determine from it overall is watching through the footage that's there of all of the tapes of scrubbing forward and backwards. It's nothing living, at least up to now, besides that one guest, has disappeared under Thorn-related circumstances. Guests go. They die. But it's not in that net of vines and leaves necessarily. If anything, most of the tapes that focus on the strange things that Thorn has been doing, they're all centered around, at first, just growth from that initial plant and draining out through vents and finding a track of them, through rooms that are being turned over. It's more studious than that. And then that first incident, not even a week or a few days ago, of that initial snip being this first trip of senses of not neurons, but of consciousness firing, and then the rapid development in between of Thorn operating Polybius, of observing the TV, of doing this not just in that room, but in several rooms over and over and over again, of studying, but not showing malice necessarily. And now, centered in on the boiler room, the vines have withdrawn from the vents. They've all started to coalesce around this location into safety, or as much as it can be.
Fantastic. So, hey, that's been... You can check out anytime you like.
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Throw more people into the hole.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Hey,
not a
congrats,
nice
Dave.
thing to call the hotel. The whole tell.
The whole tell.
I am very sorry. Okay, this has been Follow the Leader. If you like what we do, maybe consider throwing us some money on our Patreon. August's made a bunch of stuff available for free that you can listen to, and you can get our monthly newsletter just so you know what's going up, and you can do that for free. But if you give us some money, you can get bloopers and bonus episodes and a lot of stuff we're very proud of. But if you can't, that's okay. But I hope you do come back and listen to future episodes. I've been Jade. Continue to be so. I continue to also be Coda. That's me. Playing with me today has been August.
Hello, I've been August. You can still find me on Tumblr at Strange Harpy and on Blue Sky and Itches, Harpy Dora.
By Cory.
Hey folks, I've been Cory. Find me here with you, or listen to Sagas of the Sunless Reach. Still going, still proud of it. Please, please, please give that a listen as well, if you have the time.
Yes, do. It's great.
Lastly, but by no means leastly, by Shrug.
I've been Shrug, and you can find me.
Can we, though?
Yeah, just check into the hotel.
Yeah. Congrats, day manager. You've made it.
Let us clap, my friends.